Hey there, welcome back to the exam preparation video series for SC-100, Microsoft Cybersecurity Architect. I'm Peter de Thunder, a Microsoft technical trainer. In this specific episode, we'll focus on designing security solutions for infrastructure. We will cover how to design solutions for security posture management in hybrid and multi-cloud environments. And then second, evaluating solutions for network security as well as security service edge. Here is a list of the different skills for the objectives we'll be covering. As mentioned in previous episodes already, these are some of the skills you may or may not be tested on. We will not necessarily cover every single skill in this video, but you should be familiar with each skill before taking the exam. A minor recommendation is again to pause the video and take a screenshot. Let's continue to look at the different skills you may be tested on. Like I previously mentioned, this list isn't exhaustive, and while we won't be covering every single skill in this video, be sure you are able to perform the skills before taking the exam. I'm sure you all know that Defender for Cloud is the Azure cloud solution for security posture, therefore a CSPM or Cloud Security Posture Management solution. The recommendations are tightly mapped against the MITRE ATT&CK framework. Performing security posture management using Defender for Cloud also means using Microsoft Secure Score. By the way, it's the same for M365. Starting from a list of recommendations, a weighted score gets allocated to each based on criticality, which means the more recommendations you're gonna fix, the better your secure score becomes. This one is another of those pause video / snapshot placeholder slides. Since this section primarily covers CSPM, make sure you are extra familiar with the different key areas as part of your design. Also remember, Defender comes in different flavors. Defender for app services, Defender for servers, Defender for databases. Understand the design dependencies, as well as the main setup and configuration steps that you need to put in place. The same recommendation goes for integrating hybrid and multi-cloud environments, in this case using Azure Arc. Know its selling points. Become familiar with the design principles, and know for what platform architecture the principle can be used. Talking about multiple defenders, here is yet another one. Defender External Attack Surface Management. To me, this feels like the good old firewall port scans in a physical data center world from the first few years in my career, now 28 years ago. Know how this feature works as part of the broader Defender for Cloud CSPM. And as we try to show you here in this slide, also know how to interpret the attack surface insights by, for example, analyzing dashboard views like this example here. Security posture management through a solution like Defender for Cloud is only one aspect of the full design architecture. So in this slide, we're emphasizing the importance of securing mobile devices and clients, mainly meaning to use Microsoft Intune as your cloud-based solution for those devices. Or, like in this example, knowing how to design a solution for IoT devices as well as operational technology, or OT. Things like identity, network access, firmware updates, and more like that are part of the security scope here. For this kind of scenarios, Defender for IoT and Defender for OT, if you want, would be a viable solution. Understand what it takes to integrate such solutions into your security designs. For servers, establishing a security baseline is obviously key. Using tools such as the Microsoft Security Compliance Toolkit, as well as the already mentioned MCSB in Session 1, should be top of mind. Although we talked about identity and access in the previous section, password management of servers is not something we touched on. One possible solution to help here is LAPS, Local Admin Password Solution. You need to know what are some of the benefits, what are some of the key scenarios where it could be a great security solution. And that's really the core message of what you see here. We covered IoT, OT, servers, clients, which means that we only have a few other workload scenarios still to cover. In this specific case here, it's knowing how to design security solution for web apps using Defender for App Services. Or for example, in this next slide, knowing the security implications, but also how to design security aspects for containerized workloads. Often, architecting a solid and secured container-based design is actually really challenging. It's a combination of infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, as well as orchestration, and all that in one single design. So Defender for Containers is the solution you should look into a lot more for this. Another service which cannot be missed in today's cloud environment architectural designs is Azure AI Services, and understanding what it takes to architect a secured AI solution. In essence, AI services are a lot identical to app services, which means you can leverage on the skill you already have for designing those. Key and secret management using Azure Key Vault, access management, network security. Those are just some of the key features you should familiarize yourself with. Also, talking about network security, you need to understand the shared responsibility metrics, from the physical data center all the way to the information and data layer. Who's responsible for what, as well as what are the key design factors. Last, allow me to go back to the importance of Entra in any possible cloud security design. So in this diagram, it's showing you what Entra Internet Access provides as a secure web gateway. It could basically allow any user with security restrictions to connect from any device, again with security restrictions, towards any application with once more security restrictions. How do you protect? How do you secure? And how do you control all of that? Where the other Entra feature we highlight here is Entra Private Access, a cloud-based twist, I would say, to the traditional VPN. You need to understand its features, reasons to integrate it into your already existing designs, and what solutions it brings into your topologies. This brings me to the end of this third section, where we covered the XM objective domain of designing for infrastructure, mainly zooming in on cloud security posture management and securing service edge scenarios. Thank you for watching, and be sure to follow me to episode 4, which highlights designing security solutions for applications and data.